Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we've got a product by HYNADE, and they make, well, welders. This welder is going to be the MIG145 FX. This is going to be kind of on the upper end of what they offer, between 135, 145, and some other lower options. This is going to be on the higher end. And then power for this one is going to be available in 110 to 220 volt. So depending on what your capacities are, you could tie into either one of those. Now we'll go over all the options of welding, both MIG, lift TIG, and stick. And then here's all the details. We'll go through all of these here real quick, but we're going to definitely go into them in further detail in the video. But basically what you're going to get here is a gas or gasless MIG welder, depending on your wire type, and if you want gas or not. You could do like a flux core, or you could do shielded gas welding. Now, another thing worth mentioning here too is the duty cycle. This is 60%. Now, duty cycles are going to be important based on the duration of your weld. So if you want to weld for a long period of time, 60%, think of it as this way. If you have 10 minutes to weld, you could spend 6 minutes welding and 4 minutes letting the machine cool off. If you have it lower, say it's 20% duty cycle, you could weld for 2 minutes and then leave it setting for 8 minutes to cool off. That's worth noting because in this price point range, and we'll go over price later, other items such as like Harbor Freight welders, they're going to be closer to the 20 or 40% duty cycle range, and you lose out on time welding. You also lose out on quality of components within. So worth noting that a 60% duty cycle is getting up there towards the industrial side of welders. Okay, and then wire size, that's it's capable of is 30, 35, and 40. It says it's got a screen display with Synergic control. We are not new to Synergy on this channel. We've done a video a while back, and this will be the next one in that kind of idea range of Synergy. And we'll go over it in greater detail, but I think the gist of it for you guys now is Synergy allows the machine to do some of the thinking and calculating for you, so you don't have to do it all by hand on the rotary knobs. So we'll get into this here right now. We'll crack it open, let you guys see. Alright, so here's everything out of the box. This is the whole unit as itself, and it is quite compact. Looks like it got a little bit damaged in transportation a little bit, but you have your gas in. This is going to be if you're going to use a shielded gas, so like argon. And you have a fan back here, which is nice to help cool off this unit. Looks like you have a serial there. On-off switch you hit. Looks like this is going to be your power cord that comes in. Worth noting on the power cord that it comes in a 220 cord. So definitely heavy duty. Inside the package though, you do have the ability to step down to a regular 110. So just take it and connect it like so. And now you have your household 110 mount. Now as far as the rest of the unit, you see the display up here at the front. We'll go through all of the functions on it here momentarily. And then you have your leads, both negative and positive. And these are going to change as you determine which one's going to be your grounding wire. Here's your grounding wire and your grounding clamp, which is okay-ish. I mean, it's not super nice, but at least it does have some copper inside there to help ground it, and it does have a good tie on up there, so I'll say it's okay for that. But you'll essentially take this guy and stick him in and turn him to lock him. It's just a twist lock. It just gets the job done, and a lot of entry-level welders use that type of technology. Same thing for this one. So this is going to be your stick end. So what goes to the stinger or the trigger. So as you hit that, you're going to either positively or negatively charge the wire coming out of here. And that's important because determining on what kind of welding system you're using, you'll use one or the other. In the case of flux core, which I will be demonstrating today, we'll want that actually in the positive mark here. We'll slip it in there and turn it. Essentially making this the positive, and then we'll put our negative lead on there. And that allows us to weld it and keep spatter to minimum, but actually keep the current going the correct direction so that it actually welds properly. That's going to be crucial. But here's the manual. This is going to be nice to have, so as you want to know all the layout of the machine, you can find this out for yourself. Become well oriented with it. Worth noting here, if you guys want to freeze frame on that, that's going to give you all of your capacities, voltages, all that stuff, weights of this. And it also shows you here what comes with this set, which we're seeing right now. The ground. This is going to be the stinger for a stick weld. And then you have a couple extra nozzles. And when I say nozzles, that's going to be for the wire to go through. So as you change wire size, you could change the nozzle, and then we have wire as well. And then here's more of your outputs over here. So this is going to be everything that came with it, that in the larger box that you just saw. So this is going to be your electrode holder right here, guys. You're going to be able to put your electrode inside there, pinch it, hold it, and then weld on the surface that you need to weld to with this. Now, is this one super nice? No, it's got a little bit of ABS, it looks like. It does at least have, it looks like copper contacts, so I do like that, but not super awesome. And I'm saying the cord's probably about 4 or 5 feet long. It could be a little bit longer. So this is going to be your grounding clamp. Then you get a solid core wire here. It looks like they're calling this one 8.8 millimeters. And then you have this one here, which is your self-shielded flux cord wire, and that's 1 millimeter. And the cool thing about flux cord is it's got a resin essentially inside of it that as you're welding, it creates a gas and it protects the weld from oxidizing, which is oxygen in the air. And when you eliminate oxygen or other catalysts in the air, it allows your weld to essentially not, you can think of it as like rusting. It will essentially get scallops all over it, and it will pit. And when you remove oxygen, you put an inert gas there, then it allows it to weld and look clean and not have all those contaminants in it. So that's a crucial part of welding. So that's being said, so you have all that. You have a couple tools here. We'll go over those for install. You have a couple different wheel changes. If you want to go with a larger wheel for larger wire, that's just going to run inside there. And this is going to be for sealing up your hose. They did give you a hose here as well for running. If you want to reuse this type of hose, you may use a different type of hose. But if you want to hook up to a shielded gas, you could use this with these fittings as well. And then those are your extra fittings on the end for this size of nozzle you want to run for this size of wire that corresponds to it. Okay, that's all it there. So next up, we'll just take it, I'll start setting it up here, and you guys can kind of see how it all goes together. So access to this is going to be through the side here. There's just a side door. So lift up on that switch, pop it open, and you come to here. Now while we got you guys here, you guys can actually see currently on the screen here how to set up, and it's going to walk you through how to start the process of setting up. I'll show you guys here yourself, but if you ever forget, that's a great way to figure it out. And then if you need to fix the wire, here's the setup here too. I do like that it has this quick reference here. So if you're welding steel or stainless steel and you're welding with a certain type, if you're welding stainless, acid electrode, flux cord, or solid, we'll be in this one. Drive type roller, okay, V-groove, we got it. Polarity, DCEN, shielding gas, NA, obviously because there's no shielding gas. Gas flow, NA, because there's no gas flow. Wire parameter, oh, we could run a 0.8 millimeter or 8.9 millimeter, which is a 30 or 35. And then this is saying for how thick of material you're planning on welding. So these are the settings it says to set the machine at in order to achieve those welds. So great quick reference guide. I love when they put these in machines because it definitely speeds up your process of getting prepared and welding quickly on the material you want to weld. So I like that. All right, we'll start dialing this in and get your wire fed in there. All right, so we're back here. We're going to go ahead and loosen up this guy first. This is going to allow us to release tension on where the wire would be. You pull this up, and right inside here is where it's all going to run. Now on this left side here, you see there's a feed wire. This is a great thing, so you don't have to be on the end of this nozzle and pulling this trigger. You just feed right here. So we'll turn it on. All right, you heard it kick on. You guys see it moving down there? So as you push that button, it allows me to feed the wire in. Okay, so we got everything open, and we're following those steps here. Now it says feed the wire down to the bottom. Now, it's worth noting that, let's double check. It's always worth double checking too here on the end. So pull off the end of this cover to make sure that you got the right wire on the end. So this is a 1.0 or a 0.040. And this is a 1.0. So that's going to be the correct size wire to run through there. Okay, so just double check that's tight. They do give us a little tool here, guys. This little guy. Take him, put him on the end, and just make sure you got that down there tight. Good, nice and tight. Take this, slap it back on, and now we're good to start feeding the wire through the system. Now when you do feed, try to keep the wire as straight as possible. As you coil it up, it's going to make it that much harder for it to feed through. So we're going to try to keep it as straight. Okay, so next up we're going to then take off this fitting. It's just a pop twist. Take him and leave him on the side. Then we'll cut this open. Now this is going to want to spring out at you when you do release it, so make sure you have good control over it. Try to get your finger on that because it's going to want to unspool rather quickly once you cut that. Cut it straight as possible. Alright. Now there it is under tension. Hold on to it nice and tight. And then take it and feed it through the hole as you're trying to put it on the spool roller itself. Right, hold that tight, hold that through, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the end to make sure there's tension. Alright, that's locked into place. Okay, so we got this now, let's roll it through. And you're going to find that little hole over here. Make sure it goes through that starting hole. Might be a little bit of a challenge. Alright, in the hole. Everything's in there. We're actually feeding it by hand at this point. Now let's go ahead, slap this guy down, lock him into place, give it a little twist, doesn't have to need a lot of pressure on it, and then we'll go ahead and feed via this button. And we're going to feed until we visually see it come out of the end of the wand. Now you can do it by this end as well. It's going to go super slow that way though because you have a set wire speed. So let's just do the feed. There we go. So you get to choose to clip that off, weld with it as is. I'm gonna go ahead and just clip it off. So a good starting point. There you go. You're all set up on this in the machine. So we'll go ahead, we'll close it down because we're done there. And then let's flip it over and let you guys see all of the settings. Alright, so now we have it all set up. The idea here is you're in MIG, stick, so this button here, you press that, MIG, stick, lift TIG. We're obviously in MIG, we're staying there. Gas and gasless, we're going to go gasless, and then you can see on 110 volts, it already recognizes our voltage. It's already kicking on the fan, it's telling you that as well. Determine your motions of 2 or 4 to start, engage, weld, and to stop. We're going to use 2T just for the simple on, and let go. A lot simpler that method. And most of you guys starting this won't use the 4T for that reason. And then we're going to choose our wire type. So we're in the wrong wire type when you go up to 0.035 and 0.040. That's the correct one. Now, based on the thickness of our wire, as we saw earlier on that little cheat sheet, we can determine how much amperage is needed and how much voltage. Note, this will adjust on its own and try to make up for that. But we get to start the starting point based off of the thickness of metal. So I'm going to pop open this cheat sheet again. Let's just say we're trying to weld a 2mm plate together. So 2mm says to run it at 17.5 volts. And 70 amps. Perfect, we just set it to where it needs to be. So then now as we weld, it's going to make adjustments based off of how fast you're welding and how much wire speed to give you and how much to take away. So pretty cool, pretty trick setup. I like that they're automated like this because this is their Synergy technology. Now, let's try it. I have not welded with this yet, so let's see how well it welds. Right now, it might be a great time to also stress the importance of safety gear. You want to have a proper helmet. You want to have gloves, any other vest if you're doing a lot of welding or underneath it. You want to have gear that protects you from all the sparks, both visually and physically to your body, because you can hurt yourself. So remember that, guys, when you're getting yourself set up. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to try to weld a couple little pieces of metal together and see how it turns out. Now you'll see I've already gone ahead and placed my clamp on the workpiece. That's going to allow me to ground essentially to the table, and then whatever metal touches the table will be grounded. you're going to have a little bit of slag that builds up on there. So you're going to have to pound it off with a hammer and get it clean so you can see the metal underneath. But I think as far as the weld's concerned, it actually turned out really good. There is a little bit of delay in the trigger pull before it hits, and then it is a little on the slow side right now. But you can go in there, you can change the settings even further to have a little bit faster pickup. But the point of this video, guys, was to show you what are your options out there. You definitely have this one, and if you guys watched my video earlier, I'll put a link down in the description below to the MIG145 here. This is a welder that is by Bestarc, and they sent these both out to me. Pricing wise is going to be pretty similar between the two. I think given any day they're going to be somewhere between about 175 to probably about 225 on price. Now sizing wise is different. This one has the same output as that. I do like the smaller case. That is nice. It is yet to be said if it cools as well, because there is a little bit more surface area for cooling through this unit. But as far as setup, this does everything that does, and it also does gas. They do offer a gas version of this one as well. I just didn't get that when I got it. But I think between the two, you can't go wrong. I'd see whichever is on sale. They're made essentially by the same manufacturer, in case you didn't know. So look up HYNADE or look up Bestarc. Bestarc kind of has a little bit more of a name for itself right now than HYNADE, but they're both great welders. And for especially entry level or even moderate in the middle welders, these are going to do great for anything you need. So body work, light metal work, you know, if you're a farmer, what have you, these are going to do great for you. Just pick the wire size that you need. If you need to use the stick welders, they both have stick as well. They're basically carbon copies of each other using a lot of the same things. I will note that the lead on this one, on the HYNADE, is about 7 inches longer. So I like to have a longer lead on this. And so it is a little bit longer. I did complain in my last video to them about this one because this one's about 6 feet. This one, sorry, this is about 5, a little over 5 feet. I think like 5 feet 3 inches, and this one's going to be almost 6 feet in length. So you get a little bit more length. They did upgrade the pistol a little bit too. It's a little bit more material to it. You can see them side by side. It's a little bit beefier. Not by much though. I think it's just natural. You get some upgrades as time goes on. Again, both great units, and for the price, to be MIG welding for, in these cases, these, and I'm sure they go on sale. I think I've seen them on sale as low as 150 bucks. It's a great deal for a welder, and you get a better duty cycle than, say, Harbor Freight, and a lot of other ones that are way worse duty cycles. So, where do you find them on? Amazon. I'll put links to both of these in the description below so you guys could find them. And yeah, I think long term you're gonna like them. You can even look at the reviews on them too, guys. There's a lot of positive reviews about guys having good experience with these. I really like this one because of the size. Well, they're both great size. They're super small, like briefcase sized ones, but you could put them easily, carry them on your vehicle, especially if you're off-roading and you need to weld. These will work out good for you. So, anyways, guys, that's my review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you like one over the other, or do you have something else that you used? I have older MIG welders I've used over the years, and they've been solid. But these Chinese-made ones, they're actually doing pretty good in my book. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.